Glenn Hill knows he's lucky. On September 11th, his flight from Boston to L.A. was forced to land in Cleveland, leaving him stranded. But when he asked for a refund,
he couldn't believe what the airline told him, and neither could we.
Next on News Center 5 at 11. You're watching the Associated Press News Station of the Year. Now, coverage you can count on. This is News Center 5. Glenn Hill knows he's lucky. On September 11th, his flight from Boston to L.A. was forced to land in Cleveland, leaving him stranded. But when he asked for a refund,
he couldn't believe what the airline told him, and neither could we.
Next on News Center 5 at 11.
In the last month, we have heard dozens of stories from passengers stranded on September 11th, and among them a Norfolk man who spent days trying to get back from Cleveland and hours trying to get his money back from the airline. Here's consumer reporter Susan Wornick.
On the morning of September 11th, only one of the LA-bound flights from Boston landed safely. Delta Flight 1989 had taken off from Logan Airport at 8 a.m., within minutes of American Flight 11 and United 175. About 90 minutes into the flight, the plane was diverted to Cleveland. Glenn Hill was on board.
We were about a little shy of 2 hours into our flight when a flight attendant approached us and said that she wanted to share some bad news with us.
As word circulated about the terrorist attacks in New York and Washington, there was chaos and confusion.
It was beyond our comprehension, beyond our belief. Our feeling was horror.
Glenn and the others were stranded in Cleveland for days.
They told us that given the situation, that they really did not know when aircraft would be flying again in the United States, and that if we wished, we were free to return home in any way that we chose, and that we would get full ticket refunds.
Glenn eventually took a train home and then discovered he could not get a full refund.
Last Friday, I spoke with Delta, a passenger service agent, for over an hour. I was very surprised to hear that their position now is that they are willing to refund our tickets, but only a part of the total fare.
Glenn was stunned to discover Delta wouldn't return his entire $1,300. They were deducting the cost of the flight to Cleveland.
Glenn was stunned, and frankly so were we when we heard his story. We couldn't believe that Delta would charge anyone anything for that flight on September 11th. So we called to find out more.
A Delta spokeswoman apologized, calling it a misunderstanding. Though she couldn't explain how it happened, she told us Glenn Hill got inaccurate information and that his full refund had been approved and processed. For Glenn Hill, this has been less about the money than the principle and the frailty of fate.
I think about it each day. I am enormously thankful that we are still here and able to be around.
If you buy a non-refundable airline ticket and then decide not to make the flight, the airline does not have to refund your money. But if the airline doesn't make the connection, you are entitled to a full refund. Buyer beware. I'm Susan Wornick.